Okay, it's time for a garden tour. Hey, it's Amy. Welcome back to Hummingbird Hill. And if you didn't just join me on the tour of what's going on the Witty Hill and behind the upper house, I will put a link to that wherever those little linky things go. So if you are interested in seeing what else is going on as far as trying to garden or landscape or not do really either except just control weeds and grow some fruit, then you can watch that video. I talked super fast in it, I think, and I'll probably talk really fast in this one because there is a lot to talk about. I'm gonna try and get both the hay bale and the raised bed end of the garden in one video because otherwise it takes so long to load. It just takes a long time. And I will let you know what's going on, and we're gonna start down with the hay bales because it is shady down there so we can actually see just slightly better. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's take a look. I'm gonna flip you around so that I can see what you're seeing so you can actually see things when I'm talking about them instead of the bale above them or the ground below them. Yeah, we'll hope that you can hear the sound. Wish me luck. Alright, as you can see in the line between the weed barrier and then the cardboard and the hay, we do have some weeds coming up. That just happens, and I pull them and I feed them to the donkeys, but oh well. This is a grow bucket with self-watering, it needs water in it, that has mint in it, and I really actually just need to cut the mint back and let it start to regrow up because it needs it. It's getting super leggy and not super tasty. But I love this little bucket, one, because little frogs live inside it and they peep out and like to get water when I come and give them water. So that's super exciting. So coming in here, this is the first square that we have. And on this side here, this is kohlrabi, and I think it's purple kohlrabi. It may just be white, I can't remember. One of them didn't grow somewhere. And unfortunately, my Chinese snake beans did not grow. 2 of them died, and I think I donated the other seed packs. There were only like 5 seeds in a pack, so I think I donated the other seeds to the school, so I can't find them and grow them. So I just popped in some runner beans or some pole beans so that something will be on this trellis, and that's starting to kind of take off. The bale, I need to, next year if I do this again, I need to make a system so it'll press the bales against the trellis, because as they're sinking away from the trellis. This trellis, or this square in the middle, I filled with my compost from last year, part of it, and then I put a little bit of soil on top, and I put sweet potato slips in there, and those are doing great, which you can't really tell because everything is going crazy. But there's also a massive volunteer potato plant in here, maybe more than one at this point. So I don't know how the sweet potatoes are doing in there. It's just gonna be a kind of adventure. But this bale square is definitely growing better than the other bale square, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So this has kohlrabi here. Does have some bug issues, but I don't mind. Like, a few little eaten leaves don't bug me. That was punny, and I didn't mean to be, and I just was cheesy. Sorry. They don't bug me because it just happens. When I see things that are just totally destroying my plants, that frustrates me. Now this was turnips and radish, and I just picked 2 giant radish spots here. So you can see I have another volunteer potato. I'm just kind of leaving it, seeing what happens, because, you know, mom loves potatoes. So I just picked them, and I let them grow too long, so they got a little cracked and woody. I'm probably going to plant some more in there, or I may not. I may just let all the sweet potato vines kind of overtake this, which is what they're starting to do anyway. This, I think, is, what is this? Yeah, these are pretty big, and I probably have let them grow too big, but I don't know. I've never grown turnips before. If you saw my sad celery video, you know that, yeah, my Chinese pink celery looks amazing. So I think I'm probably going to let it go to seed, collect some seeds, but I had a couple of good suggestions to just chop it up and freeze it, even without blanching it, and use it for soups. And since none of the rest of my vegetables are really ready to start making this soup stock that I normally make in the summer, I'm probably going to do some of that. This is look at these bales, they're going so well. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I have marigolds just because I love marigolds and they help with bugs. So this is spaghetti squash, and it is getting kind of crazy. They just added this whole like 2 feet since yesterday, I'm sure. These are, what kind of beans? Borlotti beans, and these are bush beans. But when we had the big thunderstorms, The beans were all standing up nice and tall, and they got knocked over flat kind of into the potato and sweet potato area. They're still growing. In fact, I probably need to come pick some. If you would look at those, oh my gosh, that one's probably too big. You see, there we go. So I do need to come pick, obviously, but they are literally, these, next time I would do this with some support on the other side as it is. I'm just kind of letting them do what they do and see what happens. So this square bale is looking really great, except as you can see, it is compressed so far. I just threw in some extra straw there to try and help, but I've compressed these bales and they're just shrinking, which is great. That's what they're supposed to do. But yeah, I would probably rethink this structure or put some supports around it to help hold it together if I were to do this same setup next year. Let me come, let's see, are you? No, you're in. Okay, you're out. Ooh, look at, I'm growing cabbage for the first time. I'm super excited. Look at how pretty this one's looking. I don't even know. When some of my plants failed, I bought a couple of organic plants, and I thought I'd go ahead and try with the brassicas, and these are looking great. This one's not as good as that one, and I don't even know what kind of cabbage it is. I think there's a sign down in there somewhere, but I'm not going to dig for it right now because I don't want to. This is my eggplant bale, and it has had a ton of mushrooms, and I just leave them there. They're fine. They're looking all right. They have had some bug problems, but my eggplants have always had bug problems. And again, as long as the bugs aren't killing the plants, I don't mind sharing somewhat. This, what did I just put in there? I just put that in there, and I have no idea what I just put in. That may be a lemon cucumber, because I don't think my lemon cucumber is anywhere doing what I want them to do. It's just been a weird year. This is the only sweet potato start in this square. The other ones were ones that got fried more and they never came back. And those, I think, are just weeds. This bale square was filled with chicken straw, chicken droppings, and then some soil on top. And this is not performing half as well as the compost I made last year. So the compost I did last year was way better than this, which is good. And that may be a lemon cucumber. I don't know. There's a sign somewhere. I did put one of my Brad's atomic grapes down here. It was one of my tomatoes from the sick bay, and my Brad's atomic grape down in the raised bale end is kind of suffering a little bit, and this one was looking good, so I popped it in here and it's doing great, along with a fine crop of grass, as you can see. With all the rain and such, I just kind of gave up trying to keep the grasses down, and I'm hoping things grow. The thing that hasn't grown at all this year are peas. I had other peas and beans in here, and with all the rains and then the 100-degree weather, it was just too much for them, and there's one little poor plant that's kind of suffering in there. And I really have balanced out the nutrients, and I'm figuring that out and keeping that updated. But I just popped a black-eyed Susan vine in there because I want something growing. I have these really cool trellises, and I want to walk under them and feel all sassy, and I have nothing to feel sassy with. Okay, I always feel sassy, but I don't have a cool trellis to walk under, and at this point, nothing's growing up over them. So I put some more flowers in. Oh, well, except for I'll show you that in a minute. Hold on. So the cabbage, these are dragon tongue bush beans, and they are doing amazingly. There is one plant that's just a little peaked, and it has a little more holiness. Oh my gosh, oops. I think I should have been out here and picked a little sooner. I don't know how big those are supposed to be, but that's kind of big. Yeah, I have some beans I need to pick. That's why I brought my basket with me. It's over on the other end. I'll grab it. I've got some broccolis here that are doing well. Oh, look, I've got some little heads starting. I'm super excited. Now, this one was the one that was doing the worst, and this one is looking pretty gosh darn good. It hasn't started to produce a head yet, but that's exciting. Usually I've had a 2-foot across head of broccoli before, and right now we're in the middle of July. I should have already eaten this, and they should be giving me small sprouts, and it's just a weird year. So yeah, these are doing all right. Not as good. I probably need to come put some fertilizer. These are the peppers I started from scratch. There's Jimmy Nardello and what's the other one? Corbaci. Yeah. And then I have some chocolate peppers, and I have some other peppers that I need to plant. But these are doing better. they're not looking the way I'd like peppers to look at this time of year. And this bale has been kind of problematic. As you can see, this whole end is kind of fallen down, and I keep compressing it and it's not staying. So I probably need to get some stakes and help that a little bit. But they're doing way better than they were, so that's happiness. This zucchini was doing way better than the zucchini next to it, but now they've rotated. I don't know why. And again, I keep coming out here and pulling the grass, but it keeps coming back. And at this point, I'm just going with it because again, and this is, I believe that's a potato, not the weed that looks like a potato, because they confuse me. And that's just a big old gosh darn weed that I need to pull. So yeah. Oh, look at this. These are ground cherries. I've never grown them before, and I'm excited about them. And this was all spindly and tiny, and then all of a sudden it's just taking over this whole bale like I thought it would. So I really don't have anything else planted in this bale except for the log to hold the drip system in place and some marigolds, which are looking great too. Yeah, so marigolds. This is my other Chinese pink celery that was so pretty, and this one's starting to look a little funky. This will probably be going to seed soon. That's exciting. Yeah, this was the first celery I planted, and the story of my celery is sad. But it's alright, it'll be useful, and now I'll know what to do with it better next year. I still have 3 more like this big size plants that I've kept to do some succession planting with the celery, because I didn't want 12 heads of celery at the same time. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I may pull these out and pop them in here and see what happens. And look at there, finally it is July 7th. And my first zucchini has made an appearance. And by this point, I am usually rolling in zucchinis. Most years I tend to pick over 100 zucchinis from like 1 or 2 plants. And this year we're just off to a slow and rainy start, but we are coming back and I'm so excited. This, ooh, we say allow power mold. Hold on, here we go. This bale just has marigolds in it. And I thought there was something else that was coming up, and it's not. It's just marigolds. Oh my gosh, would you look at these? Okay, you're getting just a little serious over here. I'm gonna have to start jumping over you soon. This plant I was kind of hoping to train towards the fence, but then I realized the donkeys would eat it. And this whole bale tipped. And look, oh, now it's growing down on the cabbage there. These are brilliant, and I can't wait to start picking them. I tried these last year down in the raised bed end, but I planted them in August, and I only got one little tiny squash, and so I'm really excited about these. And then here, I think this little yellowish thing is some more flower seeds that I planted trying to come up, but I'm not sure. So I keep leaving them there and not planting something else there, because I really think that those are flowers trying to come up, because the frost killed the first flowers I had planted that were coming up here, and then the nutrients killed off some more, and then, we're getting there. There is a rogue potato down there again, which is kind of fun. My biggest rogue potato is down there, and it is crazy serious. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. This one is looking so much better. Look at that, it's doing great. Now we get some little yellowing. I think I need to come out with some more nitrogen. It's been a minute since I have done that, so I'm going to be coming out. And this one, I think that's my little potato. Maybe. That's the beta alpha. And then here's some red Russian kale and some Chinese red cabbage. They were on clearance. Yeah. Chinese red dragon. Ooh. Pretty. They were on clearance at the store, and I had some bales that the seeds hadn't grown up, except I think this is something, no, that looks like it's just a weed now. I thought that was a seed coming up, so I kept leaving it. No, it's probably just a weed. Yeah. And these are having some serious bug issues, mostly because in the 90-degree I put them in right in the 100-degree weather, and so they really suffered. But they're coming back. The middles are looking a lot better. So I'm probably just going to pull some of the outer leaves and see what happens. And then I may, look at this one's really bad, but that's okay. These two are taken over the bale. I will probably, I'll see what happens. I don't know if this is going to be tasty or good, but it's so pretty that I was like, I'll try that. Here is, I think these are lemon cucumbers starting to come up. I don't remember. I have so many different kinds of cucumbers, and now my little sign is missing. Oh boy. These are pole beans, and apparently these are going to get huge and be brilliant, which I'm excited about because they are starting to climb up my trellis. Just like this pretty flower. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty. It's almost to the center. I know, it's so pretty out tonight. Everything's pretty. Let me just say pretty one more time. So yeah, I got potatoes. This weed, I keep pulling this one up, it keeps coming up. The chickens rearranged this, and I never got hay over here, and then the potatoes started coming up, and so I didn't bring the hay over. You know, just one of those things. This is red Russian kale, looking really good. I do need to come out and pick because I think it's too big. I've never grown it before, so I thought I'd try it. There's another cabbage there, and look, my tiny tin tomatoes are, oh look, they're putting on so many little flowers. So cute. And over here, this cantaloupe is hanging on and doing amazingly despite all the trauma it's had in its short life. And this Thumbergia, I just love. This is one that I bought when the frost killed off all the seeds that I had started out here. And I was like, I just need something, and I bought this, and I'm really glad I did, because at least I have something growing up here. Now hold on. Okay, stepping over the potato. I've still got some lettuces down here. This whole bed was planted with seeds. They've come up erratically, not well at all, but I've got enough oh, I forgot. Hold on. Hold that thought. Coming back over here. This is my lettuce bale. And the idea here was, oh, that one's going to seed right now. I need to come and eat some more. We've been eating off at a ton, so they're doing great. But the idea was that there would be the snake beans growing up over this to help give it more shade, so hopefully that the lettuces wouldn't bolt as much. But that obviously has not happened, so I do have some bolting going on, and mostly that's just because I haven't been picking enough. Oh, and there's one, there's one little rock right there. So okay, we're back with the battery, and Ms. Basil Bell Boop Boops has decided to join us, mostly because she likes to get the snappy snacks. She's such a veggie thief. All right, raised beds. We're gonna go pretty quick because some things are looking great, and then I've been focused so much on the hay bale end of the garden that I haven't planted as much, or the things that I've planted, I don't know. It's a weird garden year. You're just gonna have to believe me on that one. All right, I'm gonna flip you around. Let's look at this end of the garden. Oh, right here, I forgot. I have 2 bales by the front gate, and these are crown of thorns. I didn't realize that they were quite so, well, you know, big. There are also some marigolds in there, some weeds that Basil is helping me by eating. And then I brought down finally my other celery, my peppers, and my eggplants that I started from seed, and that when it got all cold I took inside and have been protecting inside because the bales were all, I messed them up. But now they're all good, so now I've got to figure out where to plant them. And then I also have a tray of flowers that have just been kind of sitting here, and I've pulled out a bunch of things to pot from that section. That's where I pulled my cantaloupe and the crown of thorns, and oh yeah, cucamelons, which did not make it out of. But now I have to figure out what to do with the rest of them. They're just all kind of sitting there, being all small. They're ready to get bigger. I just need to figure out what I'm doing and put them someplace where the chickens won't kill them. All right, now I'm gonna swing you around, and I'm gonna show you the sky first because it's amazing, and then we'll look at the beds. Hold on. All right, check this sky out. So this is west, and to the north, and to the east, Mount Hood is behind some clouds right now, and there's my favorite tree, and then that is south, and up there on the hill, that's my house. All right. Grapes. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at these real quick. Come on, Busy Bell. Where are you gonna stay? These are the Niagaras, and they're crazy. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And I still need to learn how to prune grapes properly, but I've cut these back. Grapes take a lot of maintenance. Look at these. There's so many. I'm so excited. Wow. Okay, grapes are looking beautiful. They just do their thing. All my onions from the onion experiment last year I need to pick. They're kind of drying in the ground, which I'm fine with. The random garlic, random celery, and then I popped a pumpkin down in here after I pulled out my other garlic. This one looks like it might be big enough to pick. I don't know. Look at those pretty garlic scapes. I need to pick those and fry them or eat them in salad. This is, yeah, a pumpkin. I need to do something. Yeah, I just put it there for the garlic. Those are my celery I'm figuring out what to do with, and a cantaloupe that I started from seed inside that got leggy and then is doing its best. It's amazing. I don't know how it's still surviving. These are the onions I planted this year, and some of them are going crazy, and some of them I have a feeling are going to be like my big onions over there next year. I've got the Tommy apple melon. So I figured out what was going on with a lot of my plants is I was watering as if it were still 100 degrees. Just for the past few years, we've gone from May through September with 95 plus degrees days and really haven't had a range of weather, and so it's actually been a spring, which I didn't think it was going to be. And I kept watering like it was 100 those few days we had, 90s like those few days. So these are small. They're small. We'll see if they grow. But the thing that has liked what I'm doing is, again, this is the first time I'm growing melon at all. This is a Sakata sweet melon, and oh my gosh, look at this thing. It's gorgeous. It's actually growing on the trellis. But, oh, I just looked at this. That to me looks like it might be some sort of end rot going down. Let me look at these. I just came over and looked at them super closely. That one's looking great though. This one doesn't look happy. So I may need to give some, let's see, calcium maybe for end rot, I think. I don't know. Never grown these before, not sure. But that one doesn't look happy. The rest of them are looking beautiful, I think. I don't know. Anyway, growing melon, super happy with it. See if anything happens. That is, I don't know. I just popped that in. It was on clearance and it wasn't super happy when I got it, and it's still not super happy, but maybe it'll get happy. Who knows? There's time. Oh, hi. Anyone want some artichokes? I just picked 5 a few days ago. And then there's more. And that one looks like it's about to flower, which is fine. The flowers are beautiful. Oh, Bale, did you give up? You're such a good girl. Tomatoes, onions, the onion experiment need to be pulled. And I'm probably going to pop some peppers down here or something. Oh, grapes. Look! Still only 2 that have some leaves on them, but I am brilliantly fine with that. The rest of them may or may not do anything, but at least I have 2 that might. Tomatoes are getting big, single stemmed. Let's see, is it the Wapsakani peach, I think, has been having some issues, but I gave it some more copper spray. I've got some dwarf Greek basil in there that's looking good. The tomatoes, these guys, I was overwatering, which I thought I needed to, because you yank things off a plant in the middle of the summer and you don't give them enough water, then they don't root. But they were looking peaked because I was watering too much. I was soaking them, again, like it was 100 degrees out. It's not. It's been 70s and 80s, overcast. Really nice. So yeah, actually, these are looking great now because I stopped killing them with the water. I have some big tomatoes coming. I'm so excited. And I don't know. Yeah, these are doing all right. This one's been a little straggly. That's fine. This one, unfortunately, I'll put a clip in from yesterday. In any case, ooh, that just popped up. This tomato just appeared overnight. Look at that, where'd it go? Hold on, look at the little baby, it's hiding. So these are doing all right. They're not as big as I'm used to having tomatoes at this time of year, but again, this is the first time I've ever started tomatoes from seed inside, so we'll see. Asparagus, ferning, except where Bale has removed her favorite. She loves asparagus. Like, watch this. Let's pull this one out. And then I'll come back into a minute. Basil, come. Can you speak? You're such a lazy lad. Basil, speak. Basil, speak. Basil, speak. you don't speak in the garden. She's so well behaved. We rescued her when she was 2, and she had a shot collar on. There you go, baby. I know, that's yes. Oh my gosh, she's so funny. That's my veggie thief. She'd had a shot collar before, and so she doesn't really bark unless she sees a cat. So her speaks are silent, and she never licks anyone. And she's a really good girl. So yeah, tomatoes are looking all right. Weed whacked all this. Things are growing back. It happens. These, I'm just seeing how big they get. Again, those are the onions that have been there since last March. Lettuces over here. That lettuce has been in since last August, and it's bolting again. That one bolted. That one's just sitting there. This, ooh, my Brad's Atomic. This one is looking so much better. It just really perked up in the last few days since I stopped watering it so much. Hello, note to self. When it's not 100 degrees and 90 degrees out, you do not need to water as much. So yeah, I figured that out. It took me a minute, but they're coming back. They're being fine. This is where I pulled the other garlic out, and I popped some peppers that I had started from seed. I think those are the chocolate peppers. And they're a little tiny. Oh my gosh, look at this little, oh my gosh, this one's really happy to be out here. I just put it in the ground and it's got a pepper. It's probably too small to have a pepper, but I'm gonna leave it have the pepper because I don't know. That is a cantaloupe. I think that's a cantaloupe down there that's leggy, but it's looking better again because I'm not watering so much. Corn is doing oddly, so there's a couple stalks. The slugs got this one in the middle, so I popped in and one from the store. But that one is one I planted. It's looking amazing. These are all way smaller. And the perennial lettuce is down there. It keeps bolting, and I pull it up and give it to the donkeys because they love it. Here I put in the ground cherries. So those were the size that the ground cherry down in the hay bales was. And I put them down here because basically the carrots are just, there's a few carrots. None of the rest of anything I planted here this spring did well at all. I had no beets, literally no beet. That might be a beet there. But if it is, it's probably split because now I've left it go too long just because they were in here for a month as seed doing nothing. And then I replanted, and again, the weather has just been weird. Right after Basil Belle, oh, look at her. She's looking for beans. She loves beans. She is so naughty. Miss Basil, you stay away from those. No, good girl. Yes, you're brilliant. Look at how pretty you are. Oh, it's so gorgeous right now. All right, so anyway, this bed is a work in progress, but I'm thinking that probably the ground cherries will take over, and since the corn is already pretty established, it doesn't matter if they sprawl, and we'll see what happens with those. My little potato cucumber right there is little, really, really, really little. So we'll see. Oh yeah, this is an Armenian white. I planted Armenian whites from seed. They didn't do well, so I popped one in from the store. Again, if things aren't working out, the store has great clearance plants and they're a little ahead, so might as well try them. That's my theory now. I've got this rock. I don't know how much I'm supposed to pick it or if it should be bigger or if it's bolting, but it's really pretty. And so now I'm just kind of leaving it. That's also in a rock. Those are the only 2 rocks from the whole bed that was filled with rock seeds. And this whole side was filled with spinach seeds that literally started to come up, got about this big, and then the 100-degree weather, and then the rain hit and they stopped coming up. But then they started coming up again, and then the 100-degree weather hit and no spinach whatsoever. But this tomato's looking great. The lettuce is doing right. And these peas are the only peas I have in the whole garden that have grown. And usually by now my peas are winding down, but they have reached over the top of the trellis in the past. So this is also one of Basil Belle's favorite things in the whole world. And they're delicious and I love them and I can't blame her. The donkeys also are fond. Basil, come. You are such a good girl. Would you like your pea? Leave it. Get it, good girl. Anyway, these are amazing. I need to come out and pick some and have a stir fry or just eat them because there haven't been enough this year to do a whole bunch with, so I keep eating them before I share them with anyone because, well, you know, it's one of the benefits of being the gardener is you get all the good stuff. Basil, you don't get that one. It's mine. I'm sorry. Look at her face. She is so disappointed. That is the face of a pouting dog. Basil, you're so good. Alright, fine. There you go, baby. Anyway. hold on, let me turn you around now that I'm talking with my mouth full. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that you take some time out of your busy life to come and spend some time with me here as I'm trying to figure out this garden thing, this life thing, this farm. I don't know what the heck I'm doing kind of thing, but I'm working on figuring it out, and I figured I might as well share it with nice people on the internet who are interested in things like people figuring life out in the garden, on a farm, or whatever we're calling this place I live. So I really appreciate you coming by and spending some time. Let me know down in the comments like what's growing really well in your garden right now, or what's something that's a garden fail you're working on or figuring out or learning from, because that just makes me feel better knowing that I'm not the only one who's totally figuring things out this year. It's a weird year. So I appreciate it, and I hope you'll come back again so that we can spend some more time, do a little more growing together. Bye.